Hey Vogue, this is Gwyneth Paltrow, and I'm very curious to go through my life and looks with you. Aha! So this is the 1995 Met Ball. This was when the Met Ball was very young. It wasn't a big theatrical carpet, it was more pared down. This was my era of Calvin Klein. I was so thrilled because he always wanted to dress me and lent me beautiful things. And some of them he gave me and some of them I still have to this very day. I mean, they say I was like a definitive 90s style lady, so, which at the time I just thought I was wearing, minimalist stuff with brown lip liner and a lot of powder. Okay. This, I believe I was on set with Brad Pitt. He was making a movie called, I don't remember. He was making a movie and I'm sure it was great. He was so nice and we were a very 90s couple. I know that Calvin Klein leather jacket was one of my favorite pieces. I've always been a very intuitive dresser. I've always, dressed like this with jeans and a white t-shirt basically. And so obviously the shapes of those jeans and t-shirts have changed over time, but I never gave a lot of thought to my outfits. Oh, this is a good one. This is one of my favorites. This is one of Tom Ford's original collections for Gucci. I was super, as everybody was at the time, obsessed with what he was doing for Gucci. He completely revolutionized the brand. Everybody was clamoring to get anything they could from the collection, and I was very lucky to borrow this beautiful red velvet tuxedo from him, especially back in the day when I was lent or gifted something. I treated the clothes with so much reverence, and I still have them all packed and stored properly in case Apple, my daughter, wants to wear any of them. She'll sometimes find old pictures of me on Instagram, and she'll, in a very droll way, like kind of making fun of me and kind of not, be like, "You're iconic, Mom." Oh, this is my first ever Vogue cover. It was very thrilling to be on it. Steven Meisel came down. Brad Pitt was visiting me that day, so I think he's in one of those photos, if I'm correct. I'm not surprised that this outfit ended up as my first cover, only because it's very me. Like I always say, I'm kind of preppy with a twist. And so I've always loved, great tailoring and things that Angelica Houston would have worn or Diane Keaton, great blazers and that kind of a thing. So I look at this and I see such a young girl and I kind of want to go whisper some advice in her ear and give her a hug.
Do you know how many times you've been on the cover of Vogue?
Mm-mm.
Would you want to take a guess?
I think I've probably been on the cover oh my gosh, Ryan Murphy actually knows this and he told me, and now I'm so dumb that I can't remember. Is it 6?
Close, it's 7.
7. Wow, that's such a big deal. Thank you, Vogue. So this is Great Expectations. This was a Donna Karan outfit. All of my clothes in that movie were Donna Karan pretty much. And when I went to my first costume meeting, the costume designer informed me that everything in the movie was green. Every set, every fabric, every costume, and I thought she was kidding. And I had remembered that Donna had done a very green collection, and it just so happened that it was all kind of perfect and perfectly 90s and elegant and perfect for this character. It's so funny that this look got so much and continues to get so much traction. I think partially because this scene in the film was really sexy, where Ethan and I sort of make out with a water fountain. That was a career highlight, by the way. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is the premiere of Shakespeare in Love, and I'm wearing a see-through Armani dress. I guess this was the beginning of my see-through looks, which, they've reared their ugly head once in a while throughout my sartorial history.
Do you remember a particular reaction to this dress?
Of kerfuffle over the sheer? There probably was, but there was no internet at this point, so I don't know. I would have had to buy the New York Post and read criticism of myself. So no, I would not have done that at the time. Okay. Do we think this is the most famous dress? We do. So this is the Ralph Lauren bubblegum pink taffeta ball gown that I wore when I was nominated for an Oscar in 1999.
Did you know that this dress has its own dedicated Wikipedia page?
No, it does not.
Yeah, it does.
Come on! It's a funny story because it was in the days before stylists, and I had been looking through the Ralph Lauren lookbook, and in the show they had this pink bubblegum taffeta skirt, and I was like, oh, that's very me. So I called and I said, could I borrow this for the Oscars? And they said, well, we'd like to make you something, which was thrilling. And so they made me this beautiful dress, and I love it, and I kept it and I have it. And I had borrowed this Harry Winston earrings and necklace for the Oscars, and then after I won, my dad, as a present, surprised me with them. Now I'm gonna cry. So that was very sweet. And I wore the earrings and necklace when I got married to Brad in homage to my dad and as a way of keeping him there with us. You guys made me cry, you dicks. I hate crying in public. So this is good old Margot Tannenbaum with her fur coat and a cigarette. This is a really good look, right? I mean, she's just a real original. Many a Halloween costume has been inspired by this look. It was one of the most wonderful things about working with Wes Anderson was the specificity and how he knew, even in our first meeting, he said, oh, I know exactly how I want you to look, and your hair and the color of your hair and Izod shirt dress. I was like, wow, this is weird. Like, what? Like tons of eyeliner and penny loafers and a fur coat. And I was like, I'm just gonna go with this. I think the best thing about how Margot dresses is it's totally original and totally enigmatic, which is her. Like she's really hard to figure out, and that's what her clothes say. This is Alexander McQueen at the Oscars in 2000 and something. Everybody really hated this, by the way, but I think it's kind of dope. Like, I'm into it. I had like a weird hangover about it for a while because people were really critical. I think at the time it was too goth. I think people thought it was too hard. So I think it sort of shocked people, but I like it. Oh, LA premiere of Country Strong. So this is a Pucci dress, and it was very sexy. It had a whole sort of open slit down the back that curved around the body, and then it had this latticey string on it. And I was wearing the highest heels of all time. I remember these heels and just suffering. I could barely stand in them. They were so, look at me, I'm teetering forward. This I don't think I would wear again. Right now, anyway. I think my kids would be so embarrassed if I left with like my ass hanging out of something, so I don't think they would let me wear this. I mean, I don't even know if I could wear underwear in this, so it was probably pretty risky. What if I had my pants? This is, of course, Tom Ford. This was really a spectacular moment, I think, because it was so unusual and there were no capes anywhere before this. Elizabeth Saltzman in classic form. I remember all of a sudden it occurred to me, I was like, Elizabeth, the Oscars are like in 3 days. Like, are we gonna do a fitting? What's happening? She's like, I have it, don't worry about it. And I'd be like, I think we need to do a fitting. She's like, it's fine, I have it. And I was like, okay. So anyway, I put on this dress. She burst into tears and she just said, that's it. And so I tried one dress on and that was the dress. Oh my Lord. So this is at the Met Ball. I went with Prada. I mean, this is so great. I guess I should mention that this was the shirt and there was a big skirt that came with it. But I was like, no. And Elizabeth was like, this is not, there's a skirt that goes with this. And I was like, no, this is great. I love this. You know, you gotta get the weapons out. So I decided to go with just the shirt. And I don't regret the decision. If I've learned one thing, it's how to not show your vagina on a red carpet. This is all gonna be unusable. Oh, this is a vintage Valentino that I wore to the Emmys. I had to go to the Emmys because my husband was nominated, so they said, well, would you like to present because you're coming? And I said, sure. This dress, there's no slit up the back, so I had to take very small steps, and then everybody really had to talk about it on the internet for a long time. I was like, this is taking a really long time, ha 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 ha, like I cannot walk, but what are you gonna do? Oh, this is me in custom G-label pants and I don't know what you call it. Bustier. It was at the premiere of the Goop Lab, and I'm standing in front of this fantastic floral artwork. And I love this. You know, this is like what's so fun for me about being able to make clothes is you can really design for yourself. This was really kind of a special and fun look. For the most part, I've always gravitated towards clothes that are strong and feminine and kind of classic. And I'm not that flamboyant, so my clothes have never been that flamboyant. And I think I've really translated that sensibility to G-label. Vogue, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my looks. I certainly enjoyed going down memory lane. So I'll see you next time.
Perfect.